Part 1. 50 Essential Phrasal Verbs. Everyday living English expressions for living in English every day. Questions about phrasal verbs. What, why, and how. 1. What are phrasal verbs? Simple is best, so let's keep this simple. Phrasal verbs are commonly used verbal expressions that usually indicate some action, and they have more than one part, a verb plus another part, which is a preposition or an adverb. Here is a quick example. Let's take the verb look. We know its basic meaning, but notice how it works when combined with parts to form a phrasal verb. This first example has two elements, verb look plus part up, look up. Notice that the phrasal verb look up can mean not just to look toward the sky, but it has the special meaning of search for information, such as in a dictionary. Example: I need to look up this word in the dictionary to learn its definition. Here's an example using look with three parts. Verb look plus part out plus part for, look out for. The phrasal verb look out for has two basic meanings. One, to be ready to take care of and protect someone, and two, to be on guard against possible trouble or danger. Example 1. Our teammates always make sure that the new players understand what to do and how to do it. They really look out for the younger players. Example 2. When you go hiking along that mountain trail, you have to look out for falling rocks. It's very dangerous. Next, we'll consider why you should learn, study, and practice using phrasal verbs. 2. Why should I learn and use phrasal verbs? The simple answer is that phrasal verbs are what native speakers and fluent non-native speakers of English use in everyday communication. In that way, they are living English expressions. Phrasal verbs are standard expressions, not so-called slang or casual English. For learners of English, phrasal verbs may be the most important factor in vocabulary building for taking your English from the lower intermediate to high intermediate and advanced levels. For university students, learning and studying phrasal verbs will help you first recognize and begin to understand more and more of what native speakers are saying and writing in English. So, phrasal verbs are key vocabulary items for improving your listening and reading skills. As you become more familiar with the most commonly used phrasal verbs, you will naturally find that you understand more of what fluent speakers of English are saying. And eventually, if you master phrasal verbs, you will be able to use them yourself. At that stage, your speaking and writing will become more natural, and in that way, smoother and closer to the way that native speakers and fluent non-native speakers express themselves in everyday life. The next point we'll discuss is how to learn, study, and practice using phrasal verbs. 3. How can I learn, study, and practice phrasal verbs? We're going to be studying 50 of the most commonly used phrasal verbs in English. There are hundreds of them, but these are the phrasal verbs that you will encounter most frequently when you study abroad, travel, or speak to native speakers anywhere and everywhere. For this lesson, we'll do our work in 3 stages. Stage 1, phrasal verbs pretest, self-check. Stage 2, phrasal verbs practice in context. Stage 3, review test and production assignment. How to begin? With stage 1, you will see 5 sets, A to E, of the 10 phrasal verbs, and you just need to do simple matching on your own to see how many of the phrasal verbs you already know. The real goal is for you to review those you already know and to memorize the basic meaning of each one for now. Remember, phrasal verbs often have more than one meaning and usage, but for this lesson, we're only focusing on one basic meaning for each phrasal verb to keep it simple. My hope is to introduce or reintroduce you to phrasal verbs with the goal of motivating you to master them in order to increase your working vocabulary so that when you speak English in real conversations with real people, you'll have more natural fluency, more confidence, and more enjoyable conversations. Stage 1. Phrasal Verbs Preview Self-Check. Phrasal Verbs Self-Check Practice Sets A through E. Instructions. Using a separate sheet of paper to record your answers, match the phrasal verbs 1 to 10 with the definitions A through J to check how many phrasal verbs you already know. Note, this practice will not be submitted by students. This is only for your review and self-check. The answers for sets A through E appear after set E. Remember that many phrasal verbs have multiple meanings, so just find those definitions here that best match the choices A through J. After this practice, you will have more chances to learn, review, and be tested on these 50 phrasal verbs. Enjoy! Set A begins on the next page. 50 essential phrasal verbs. Set A. 1. Get rid of. 2. Get over. 3. Get by. 4. Get back at. 5. Get along with. 6. Get ahead. 7. Get at. 8. Cut it out. 9. Cut off. 10. Cut down. Set B. 1. Brush it off. 2. Brush up on. 3. Come across. 4. Come down with. 5. Look after. 6. Look into. 7. Look it over. 8. Pick on. 9. Pick out. 10. Pick up. Set C. 1. Put up with. 2. Put on. 3. Put off. 4. Give up. 5. Give back. 6. Give away. 7. Call up. 8. Call for. 9. Call off. 10. Call on. Set D. 1. Break off. 2. Break into. 3. Carry it off. 4. Carry on. 5. Hold off. 6. Keep it up. 7. Lay off. 8. Run into. 9. Run out of. 10. Wear out. Set E. 1. Play up. 2. Pull it off. 3. Show off. 4. Show up. 5. Take place. 6. Take turns. 7. Take up. 8. Turn down. 9. Turn in. 10. Turn into. Follow-up practice tip. Try this. After you do this self-check practice, you can move on to the next tasks that feature the same 50 phrasal verbs used in sentences. For simple and quick review at any time, you can come back to stage 1 and simply do the matching of the phrasal verbs and definitions randomly. It's just a memory exercise at this point, but it will help you remember phrasal verbs and their meanings when you encounter them in sentences and later in real conversations. Enjoy! This is the end of part 1. Please go to part 2.